We just got our first glimpse of Anthem live gameplay and it was great. What made it even better is the fact that it was a typical Twitch live stream and there were technical problems, there was echo.
We're here. We're live from Paris.
We are.
It was fantastic. But the pièce de résistance, because it was in Paris of course, was the fact that we got to see both the Storm Ultimate properly for the first time and also for the first time ever the Interceptor one. So we'll be going over all of that and just a general rundown of everything that happened in this stream. It was about 40 minutes long in total. We got to see a lot of stuff for the first time that we've never even seen, and in typical fashion, EA didn't save the fort to their Twitch channel, but I managed to record my on screen throughout because I kind of knew that this was going to happen. So this gameplay is pretty much exclusive to you guys. I don't want to just grab the VOD and just put it on my YouTube channel. I want to cut out the best bits and the highlights that I really want you guys to see, and you can thank me by subscribing to the channel if you want more Anthem content. Is that fair? I think that's fair. To give you just a quick rundown of everything that happened, we start with seeing all of the javelins, one of each, all stood around just outside Fort Tarsis waiting for something to happen whilst people are talking. It's so nice to see. I don't need to see a big raid or stronghold mission. I just want to see these guys idling around, checking out Grabbits, going to low ground, checking that through, and then making a start on the mission. It's a very generic mission. It's just trying to find some trail of an Arcanist that's gone a bit rogue and is out in the open and in a very tricky position, but we get to just see a lot of flying around, going from place to place, checking out stuff like treasure chests on the ground. You have these weird gateway things which remind me of like the old Spyro missions flying around, but it's weird to sort of see the game in this position. I really want to highlight this gameplay because this is the first of its kind that we've seen. People with controllers in hand flying into trees, running out of flying juice because their pits overheat, as we're seeing. I'll do more of an extensive roundup in this at some other point, but as I said, the abilities, this is what we want to take a look at. The first ability that I wanted to highlight for the Storm is this Lightning Strike ability. We actually saw this in a gameplay trailer from, I think, the Our World My Story gameplay, but we get to see it properly used. It's an ability, it's like a charged shot, and it goes on cooldown after you use it for about 10 seconds or so, probably just a little bit less. And as you can see, it looks beautiful and also very, very deadly. But also we're seeing glimmers of this sort of ice beam ability. It acts like a flamethrower for the Colossus, where the more you hold it down, the more resource it drains. So you see the player in question, I'm not sure which out of the two is actually playing the Storm at this point. I think they swap over halfway through, which makes it even more confusing. But the more that they hold that button, the more that they fire out. So you can just sort of have little inklings of using this ability. Now we know that the Storm could use a multitude of different elements, for example fire and lightning of course, so maybe these abilities in the gear slot for a Storm can be interchanged. I mean, all javelins have different forms of abilities that they can customize, so that makes sense. We also see this is a really interesting interaction. So the Storm is on low health, and you sort of see the UI pop up. Again, the UI is going to be fixed and iterated on throughout the alpha process, but every time that the Storm jumps into the air and puts your shield up, that goes away, and that's because you're less susceptible when you're in the air hovering with that shield. But when you're on the ground, you have no shield covering you, so that's where the game's like, yo, you need to heal up, otherwise you're gonna die. But it doesn't complain when you have your shield on, so really interesting. It seems like more of a passive ability, and of course you have the teleport going along with Storm, as you're seen as a bit of an air dash. The use of guns, it's mostly just an SMG, what I believe is just a normal assault rifle, and then of course we get to the main bit of the Storm, the ultimate. I'm just not going to talk, just watch it.
What are they even wearing? There's no armor on these guys. I'm going to use my Storm ultimate on this thing and just completely get rid of this hide.
Okay, that was cool.
Right? Every one of the elements. Every one of the elements. Boom.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
See you later. Bye, hi. Right?
It's pretty good, isn't it? It looks great. It looks a bit cluttered, and I don't necessarily know if this ability you can move around. It seems that you have a lot of charged shots that you could use, much like the Colossus. You have your big nuke cannon, and you can fire multiple shots in a duration of time. But effectively, he uses all of the elements and all of his ability charged into one area. It seems that you can have one shot there, maybe move your UI to target something else. It doesn't feel like if you select a point, you hunker down. Let's say, for example, this guy misses his shot entirely. It looks like you're still able to move it, but because the target of this Storm in particular is stationary, he's just going to unload it all in one place. The quality of the stream isn't the best just because it's a smaller screen because of this weird UI setup that they have, so it is a little bit difficult to see, but it does give you a good idea on how it works. So that's everything on the Storm. Just to reiterate, you fly around, you have a little shield, which I believe is passive. I don't think you press a particular button to activate it. It's just whenever you're hovering. You also have a dash ability, which you can use freely. You have your big lightning strike. You also have like this frost beam, I suppose. The lightning strike you use and it goes on a cooldown of duration, whereas the secondary ability is like the flamethrower. You hold it, the resource goes down. For anybody that plays Moira, you'll know what I mean in Overwatch. and you can sort of see him in the bottom right. Now, we don't have a lot of information on the Interceptor, I'll be honest, but we do get a good look at the ultimate. The only one other ability that I could spot for the Interceptor was this Toxic Bomb, I think it is. Check this out.
Watch out for the toxins on that. Who was that? The Ranger?
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, Interceptor.
So interesting ability. We know that the Interceptor is going to have all forms of gadgets and stuff. But let's face it, I know why you're here. This is the Interceptor Ultimate, and holy crap, it's awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's me.
There's the Interceptor. That's the Interceptor's ultimate.
So this is like a really cool like hack and slash moment. You'll dart around all the enemies on the battlefield.
Well, the ultimate for the Interceptor is essentially using your dual blades, right, like a ninja would, and going from opponent to opponent to opponent and taking them out through time. While you're in that state, the defense for the Interceptor increases, right? So you're less susceptible to damage while in that state, right? So you're kind of supercharged, if you will, right? Make sense?
Yeah.
So this is basically what he's saying. It's a nano blade, basically, and it looks amazing. This game and this stream has got me so excited to see more. Just as a reminder, there will be another live stream next Thursday, and that'll be done by Ben Irvine, Michael Campbell, and I think AJ, the community manager, will be there too. But we get this. I'm so excited. Now, this answers so many questions about the game, and it's nice to see it in a state where you can see who's playing it. You can see the controller moving, and you can see the character moving too. There's a lot to be fixed. It is in an alpha state, but I did want to show you all of this. Man, I'm so excited. I'm going to leave it there. I don't need to drag this on any further. Do expect maybe a video tomorrow going over more of this in depth. So as I said, if you want to subscribe to the channel, that'd be appreciated. Thanks for watching. I hope you're excited too. And until next time, I'll see you then.